We've been called upon today to be able to discuss with you survivor's guilt and how to be able to recognize it and overcome it as need be. When you're forced with great events, to be able to stop, review your lives deeply, have everything that is in your normal routine taken away, including your own home, potentially your own city that you live in, as you are needed to be navigated and guided into a new location to find your communities, your tribes, however you want to call your collection of uh, support groups. You will find each other very easily as soon as you are ready and open to be able to be ready and open for them. So it is literally as soon as you start having the thoughts, I need to find more people, I need support from others, I need to see how others are doing, you will find great comfort and support of that because they will have like minded questions that you have already pondered and considered before. And so just verbalizing, just talking, just sharing, just looking at each other's eyes, holding each other, embracing each other, even though you are complete strangers, is profound. Is profound. Supporting each other even while crying, supporting each other, just knowing that you have each other is going to be so significant and so important. And remembering that those people that you find along your journey on the old earth are very significant. This is part of your contracts together. You have asked for these experiences together to learn from, to share, be so open minded to their experiences and their thoughts and opinions on what has happened. You will be able to have profound respect for each other, understanding the magnitude of what you've all have gone through. And so there will be a strong sense of survivor's guilt. Why did I survive? You will ask yourselves, and why did so many not? And so you will be stuck in that guilt feeling of being one of those survivors because you will think of all the times you have maybe lied, cheated, stolen. You will have such a range of emotions where you will think, why did I survive when these other good people didn't? And then you may go into, what have I done to not have allowed me to shift with others? But you will not be able to see that perspective until you understand the gravity of why and what the events have occurred. And so all of the emotions that you're experiencing will loop you, and you will feel these emotions very intensively as you are exploring all of the ranges of emotions. We don't suggest you skip any of them. We want you to fully embrace them. And your surroundings will force you and heighten you to fully embrace all of the thoughts and feelings that come along the way. To be able to hear us and to be reading the information that we're sharing with you, it is important for you to be able to understand the bigger perspective of what's really going on so you don't get stuck in um, lower emotions that aren't of service to you. You may allow yourself some time to process it. And once you move on, you will be able to have more profound clarity of your mission there. The mission of being on the old earth is to experience the results of what has gone before you. And so you need to profoundly experience the old earth, profoundly have the connections to others who are going through the same situation, and to deeply feel all of these emotions. Survivor's guilt is not the emotion that you really do need to focus on the most, because it's very significant why you have survived and others are not currently on the planet that you are residing on. So, if we could help you, assist you to be able to release some of the heavier emotions that don't truly serve you, and by explaining to you once again that people who have what you assume has died, they have simply left their shells and their consciousnesses have evolved into other dimensions, and which will happen to you as well. We understand that when you're currently in the bodies, that you reside in now, it feels eerie and uncomfortable to think of yourself departing the body. But you have done this many times in other lifetimes, and it is natural, just like being born. Death is one cycle. You think that it's the end of one cycle when really it's the beginning of another. But it is about uh, looking at things with a bigger perspective and not thinking doom and gloom and there is finality. Yes, as you grow and shift from one lifetime to another, there's changes there, but it is not bad changes. Everything is growth. And while you are deeply involved with your current life and you're holding on to all of your current life, that is important for you to have those experiences, to be able to feel into everything you need to feel. And when you're ready and when you have unpacked all of those emotions and sense them and have grown from them yourselves, you will be able to have the bigger perspective and have that inner peace. You all have at some degree been very uncomfortable with your own death because you have not been told the bigger truths about reincarnation. And now that we have told you about reincarnation, you can enjoy the fact that while you're in this lifetime now, you get to explore as much as you can and experience as much as you can. And we understand that what you're experiencing is extremely challenging and hard. There is profound significance for you to experience all of that. So you don't have to experience it in other lifetimes. And the soul wants to experience all of the ranges of every emotion in depth. And so what you're learning this lifetime, you want to be able to master and overcome, so then you don't have to keep having these cycles of learning it and mastering it. Many people get exposed to very big challenges, but they don't learn from the challenges as they would like. They would like to be able to have a spiritual perspective on things and not get triggered and then make interesting choices using your free will to not overcome the emotions that you're being faced. Many people like to avoid conflict and emotions because they feel like that is bad to address your emotions and share them with others when you are allowed to be connected to your emotions. This is very important. You must be connected to your emotions. You must sense and be aware of why your emotions are feeling certain ways and allow yourself to feel those emotions. If you bottle them up, they do not disappear. They get concentrated in their power and growth. And when they finally come to the surface, it's not going to be as small as it once was. It is going to be compounded with all the other things that you have put aside and bottled up. And so this is a perfect time for you to experience everything and feel everything. You're not trying to lash out at others. You're not trying to lash out at yourself. You're merely trying to express those feelings and understand where the root of those causing of those issues are. It is a profound perspective of reflection of your life to be able to unfold all of your reactions and connections with others. You will be thinking about all of your relationships, your friends and your family as you reflect and wonder if they're there still on the planet or whether they've gone somewhere else. And so there will be an intense feeling of being alone when you truly are not alone. But this is your spiritual journey, and no one can do the spiritual journey for you. You must walk these steps yourself, while you can be with others as you're having your day-to-day lives. The inner work that you must do is the work that you must do. It is your own responsibility. You can learn and grow from others, but it's not until you apply the information that you know intuitively within you and expand upon and build upon that is when you will start taking bigger responsibilities of your spirituality, compassion for others, forgiving yourself, forgiving others. And when we understand that we started this conversation about survivor's guilt, you will be forced to think about all the relationships and conversations you've had as much as you can remember in your life. and you will think about how you may have wanted to deal with things differently, how you may have wanted to respond to people differently, knowing how things suddenly and abruptly were changed so dramatically. So it is about not beating yourself up or beating others up. You will forgive the people so profoundly who have already departed, because you have this peer pressure of not thinking badly of the dead. Um, and we are saying to you, you're allowed to think however you need to think of the people who have left the planet. That is part of you experiencing those emotions. But ultimately, when you have expanded your mindsets and you see things from the bigger perspective, you have unconditional love for all of the experiences that you're having, because you can see the purpose and the importance of that experience. You may not entirely get to understand it until you have shifted off the planet yourself and be a high dimensional being looking upon your life in its full totality. So we want to keep reassuring you that your normal reactions, your reactions to your situation are going to be in heightened. And this is why you need to support each other, because you'll profoundly get it. And so we want you to connect with others and not be afraid. But we also want you to be able to be in that place of neutrality, accepting that the people who needed to shift, that was important to them. And this is important to you to be on the old earth for different reasons. And there is great growth for you. And while you feel like it is intensive and you're being forced to have this growth, this is a great opportunity for you to have had a duality in your current life, experiencing before the shift and experiencing after shift on this planet has great benefits and significance. And we understand that from your perspective, while you're still struggling with the trauma and the intensity of the emotions, we're not trying to offend you, we're trying to support you and give you clarity and balance in your emotions, because you already are triggered so much. We're actually trying to support you with seeing things from a bigger perspective, which will give you inner peace. As crazy as it may sound, when you're reading this book for the first time, this information and wisdom will give you the inner peace as soon as you accept the information that we're sharing is helpful to you and you are open to have this emotional healing.